Hello everyone, nice to meet you again in this video. And for today, we move on the next lesson. Lesson on C, we are family. And in this video, we're gonna learn the vocabulary and speaking skills. And as you know, for one lesson, I will divide into 5 or 6 video. Yeah. Okay, now let's see the first requirement of this video. For part A, now we need to look at the two pictures. Which one do you think show the typical family of the future? Then we read the first paragraph of the article and find out. Yes, and in here, as you can see, we have two types of families, right? On the right and on the left. So for the question, which one do you think show the typical family of the future? Firstly, I want to explain for you the kind of families on the right. You can see, right, in this picture, there are many members in these families, include all relatives, such as aunts, uncles, cousins, also have your parents, your grandparents, for one kind of families, and for another kind of families in here, you can see, right? Just have you, your parents, and your grandparents, and do not have your cousin, your aunts, or your uncles. So in my opinion, I think in the future, for the typical families is the picture on the left, right? For one kind of families, just have the children, their parents and grandparents, and do not have their cousin, their uncles, or their aunts. Okay. And now we need to read this article. Please notice the words in violet. The words in violet. And I recommend you should take a picture of this article, because later I will have several questions for you related to this article. Okay. So if you need to have much more time to read these articles, so you can pause the video. Okay, let's start reading with me. 20 years ago, the typical extended family was white. It usually consisted of 2 or 3 generations, with many children in each nuclear family. People had lots of aunts and uncles, but often didn't know their grandparents. However, according to a new study by the British research group Mintel, the family is changing shape. The family groups of the future will be long and thin, with 3 or 4 small generations. And here are some of their predictions. 1. More children will know their great-grandparents and even great-great-grandparents, because people are living longer. 2. Very few children will have brothers or sisters, and it will be common to be an only child. As a result, future generations will not have many cousins either. And for prediction 3, many children will grow up isolated from other children and young adults. This will make them more selfish and introverted. Number 4, more couples will divorce and remarry. Some more than once. They may have children with their new partners. So many children will have a stepmother or stepfather and have brothers or sisters. Number 5, there will be many boomerang children. These are children who leave home to get married, but then divorce and return to live with their parents. Number 6, there will be more single-parent families. Number 7, because houses are now so expensive, different generations may decide to live together, so parents, grandparents, and adult children may co-own their houses, and many couples will have to live with their in-laws. Okay? And now for the part B, we need to read the whole articles. Yeah, I already recommend you, right? Shoot the picture of articles. So now you can see again that article to help you clearly understand. Yeah, that article, or you can scroll back in this video to read again the article. Okay. Now we need to master highlight this words. Yeah, the words in a violence. Okay, with the definition. Yeah. Now I will read the definition, and you need to think about the right words and post in this blank. Yes, remember about the words I met the ball in violet. Okay. Your grandparents. Okay. In here, right? We want to say about grandparents of your parents. Yeah, we call. Do you remember? Great parents. Yes. And number two, a child who doesn't have any brother or sister. Yes. In that families, right? The parents just have only one child, so we call an only child, right? Yeah. And next, the families where the mother or father is bringing up the children on his or her own. Yeah. So in this kind of families that just have only a father or only mother, right? And raises their children. So we call this kind of families is single parent families, right? Okay. And next, your uncles or aunts children, it is so easy, right? We call cousins. Okay. And next, the family of your husband or wife. Yeah, do you remember? Yeah, we had the phrase in-laws, right? In-laws. Good. And next requirement, next definition, on your relatives including aunts, grandparents, etc. Yeah, do you remember? Yes, in on families, right? Have own your relatives, include your aunts, your uncles, your cousin, and your grandparents. Do you remember about that phrase? Extended family, right? Yeah, extended family, so right. And next definition, your grandparents. Grandparents is mean about the grandparents of your grandparents. Yeah. In a previous slide, we also have one definition, right? We mean about grandparents of your parent, right? We call great grandparents. But now, grandparents of your grandparents. So we call great. You need to double the word great. Okay, double the word great grandparents. Okay. And next, boys who have the same father as you but a different mother. Yeah. Boys who have the same father as you but a different mother. So we call half brothers, right? Okay. And next, the new wife of your mother. The new wife of your mother. Yeah. The new wife of your mother's, right? Yeah, actually, I type wrong word. Actually, it is the new wife of your father's. So please, yes, replace the word mother by your father's. Okay, the new wife of your father's. How we call? We call stepmother, right? Okay. And next, people who are having a relationship. Yeah. Do you remember that was? Yeah, we call they are couples, right? Okay, good. And for next part C, we need to read the 7 prediction again. In pairs or small groups, answer the question for each prediction. Now I will show again for you the article, and we will read again this article to help us completely understand this article, right? And then I will have 3 questions for you, and you need to answer, yeah, all those 3 questions. And also, I will have several useful languages for you, and you need to use those useful languages to answer 3 questions. Okay. Now we read again this article, right? Here are some of the predictions. We have 7 predictions, right? About the typical families in the future. 1. More children will know their great-grandparents and even great-great-grandparents because people are living longer. And number 2, very few children will have brother or sister, and it will be common to be an only child. As a result, future generations will not have many cousins either. Okay. And prediction number 3, many children will grow up isolated from other children and young adults. This will make them more selfish and introverted. Number 4, more couples will divorce and remarry. Some more than once, they may have children with their new partners. So many children will have a stepmother or stepfather and have brothers or sisters. And prediction number 5, there will be many boomerang children. These are children who leave home to get married, but then divorce and return to live with their parents. And number 6, there will be more single parent families. And number 7, because houses are now so expensive, different generations may decide to live together. So parents, grandparents, and adult children may co-own their houses, and many couples will have to live with their in-laws. Okay. Now we will see the question we need to answer, right? We have 3 questions. Question number 1. It is already happening in your countries for 7 predictions, right? You need to see again one by one a prediction and answer this question. Okay. And for the question number 2, do you think it will happen in the future? And question number 3, do you think it will be a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, and you need to use these useful languages to answer this question. I think so. I don't think so. Maybe, perhaps, probably. I'm sure it will. Okay. So now we need to touch the picture, right? To help us can remember this question and about these useful languages. And now I just want to add about your memory. If you do not test the picture, can you remember for all of these 3 questions and for these useful languages? Yeah, if you can completely remember, I think you have a great memories. It is so great, and I appreciate you. But for me, it is very difficult for me to remember. So that's why I need to take picture, and I also recommend you should take the picture for this question. Okay. Now we will look back, right? Again, the 7 prediction. Yeah, first, most children will know their great-grandparents and even great-great-grandparents because people are living longer. So for the question number 1, it is already happening in some countries. Yeah, it is right. Yeah, actually, now in Vietnam, as information I know that we do not have great grandparents, right? Just a few families they have great grandparents are living with us, but mostly for us, right? We just have children, parents, and grandparents. So for this, right? It's not already happening in Vietnam countries. Yeah, it is my opinion, and if you disagree with me, so please, yeah, show your opinion in the comment box. Okay. And for next question, do you think it will happen in the future? Yeah. For prediction number 1, of course, I think it will happen in the future because now you can see for the people, right? We care much more about our health, and with the development of medical sector, right? So I think that can help the people live longer. So that's why I think for the children, they will live with their great grandparents. It is possible, right? So this could happen in the future. Yeah, I think so. And if you don't think so, so please share your opinion in the comment box. Okay. And for the next question, Do you think it will be a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah, and for me, I'm sure it will be good because for the children, right? And they will live with their grandparents and also with their great grandparents. So I think they do not feel lonely anymore because for old people, right? They really want to talk with other people, so they can talk with their children, right? With their they can talk with their grandchildren and just tell their story for their grandchildren. Yeah, so for grandchildren can learn a lot of things through their grandparents, their great grandparents' story, right? So they know about the life in the past. Yeah, so from that they will understand the feeling, emotion of all peoples. Yeah, so I think I'm sure it will be good. Yeah. Okay, and for next prediction, yeah, many children will grow up isolated from other children and young adults. This will make them more selfish and introverted. Yeah. Yes, for me, for the question number one, right? It is already happening in some countries. Uh, I'm not sure, but perhaps right. It is happening in Vietnam countries, right? And now you can see that many children, they yes, they are growing up isolated from other children and young adults. So this will make them more selfish and introverted. I'm agrees with this prediction because, like, for one child, right? They should live alone with their parents and do not live with their brother or their sisters. So I think they will be selfish and introverted because they just think about themselves, right? And they cannot think for other people because they do not have brothers, right? To talk, to interact, so they do not understand about that feeling. Yeah. And for the question number two, do you think it will happen in the future? In the future, for me, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. It will happen in the future, right? I mean, that's for right now. It is already happens in Vietnam, right? But it is not popular. So I think in the future it cannot be more popular, because for all of the parents, right? When they have children, of course they will try to do everything to make their children, right, live in one house. Yeah, so it is ridiculous. If you say that if you have two houses, right, and one house is you give one child to live in that house and another child you raise, right? It is ridiculous. So I do not think so. But just for several situations, such as for their parents, right? They move to abroad to live, and they also have one house, and at that time they just can bring one child with them. So for another child, right, have to stay in the hometown and live with parents. Just in this case, for the children, they cannot live under one house, right? Yeah. Okay, and for the question number three, do you think it will be a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah, of course, I think it is so bad. Yeah, of course, I think it is so bad. Yep, for the children, they grow up, right, isolated from other children and young adults because they do not understand about the feeling. They need to share other things in this life, right, for other people, and they do not understand about emotion of other people. So let's do, and they will be more selfish and introverted. Yeah, it is so harmful for their life later. Okay. And for prediction number four, more couples will divorce and remarry. Some that ones, they may have children with their new partners. So many children will have a stepmother or stepfather and have brother or sister. For question number one, it is happening. It is already happening in some countries. Uh, yeah, I think so. This is already happening in Vietnam countries, right? So now you can see many young couple they easily divorce. Yeah. For our parents, right? They live in the past. Yeah, it was very hard for them to decide to divorce, right? Yeah, and they need to they try. I do not say they try to understand emotion of their partners, right? To live uh, friendly, right? Yeah, to live friendly and to have a happy life. But for right now, for some couple, they do not need to understand about their partner emotion. They just say they just understand about their emotion, and they require their partners have to do everything to meet their requirements to satisfy them. Yeah, it is ridiculous. So that leads to many couples, right? They divorce. So leads to many children will have a stepmother or stepfather and have brothers or sisters, right? Yeah, of course, I absolutely agree with this prediction. And for the question number two, do you think it will happen in the future? Yes, surely, because now it is happening, right? And this will be more popular in the future. And for the question number three, do you think it will be a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah, of course, I think it is a bad thing. It cannot be a good thing, right? Yeah. And who say it is a good thing? So please share your opinion in the comment box. We can interact and learn from each other, right? Because this is just an opinion, right? Yeah, this is just an opinion. Yeah. So perhaps I have this opinion, but for you, you will have opposite opinion. Yeah, it is natural, right? And understandable. Okay. Because as I told you that for the children, yeah, of course, they will feel lonely and they are easily depressed. Yes, when they have the problem is this life because for step mother or step fathers, right? Of course, for the good people, they still love children, right? Yeah, but in comparison, they of course they will love the children who was born by them, right? Much more than other children. Yeah, that's one natural feeling. So, and another thing that's I think for the children who, yes, when they live with a stepmother or stepfather, right, they also have the feeling that they remember they miss so much. They miss so much their blood father, right? Their blood mothers, right? And so these two they will have one distance with their stepmother and step fathers, and they do not easily share on their life. Yeah, to stepmothers or stepfather, right? So that will lead to the consequence for the children in the future. Yeah, they will be isolated. They are introverted and do not want to talk to other people. So leads to they usually get the disease related to their spirits, right? We call mental diseases. Yeah. Okay, and for the prediction number five, right, there will be many boomerang children. These are children who leave home to get married, but then divorce and return to live with their parents. Yeah, for the question number one, it is already happening in some countries. Yeah, for this, it is happening in Vietnam countries. Yeah, as I told you, for young couples, right, after getting married, they usually divorce. So after the divorcing, right, so they split the house. Usually, they will sell their house. They take the money and they split in two parts. Yeah, wives keep on parts, husbands keep on parts, and then they come back at the parents' house to live, right, and find the new partners. Okay. And for the question number two, do you think it will happen in the future? And for me, I think it is probably will happen in the future because for yeah, for right now it is happening in the Vietnam country, right? But in the future, I think it cannot be more popular because for young people, yes, they want to have on independent life. So you know that you are grown up, right? Got married and live your families, yeah, and have your independent life. But because you divorce with your wife or your husband, right, and then you come back to your parent house to live. So it means that you live in one house with your parents, so you need to listen to your parents, right? So I think you do not have an independent life, and for many young people, they do not want to get that fearless. Yeah, so of course, I think they will try to rent one house to live. Yeah, so. For the question number 2, do you think it will happen in the future? I think for this it is happening in the Vietnam countries, and it is also right happen in the future, but cannot be more popular. Okay, and for the question number 3, for the prediction 5, right? Do you think it will be a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah. Anyway, in my opinion, I think it is probably it is good, right? If for the young people, right, after getting married, because they do not have a happy marriage life, right? So I think after divorcing, they can come back their parents' house to live. So I think it is good. So they do not feel lonely, right? They have their parents to share their life. Yes, they will have the kind of feelings that still have several people in this world, right? Such as the parents love they so much, so they should be strong in this life, right? And overcome the current difficulties, yeah, to have a happy life in the future. And for the question number 3, do you think it will be a good thing or a bad thing for the prediction 5, right? There will be many boomerang children. These are children who leave home to get married, but then divorce and return to live with their parents. Yeah, for this, I already told you, right? It is good. Okay. And for the prediction 6, there will be more single parents and families. So for this, right, this is already happening in Vietnam countries. Yeah. And for the question number 2, do you think it will happen in the future? Maybe, yeah, maybe it will happen in the future and more popular. We are not sure about that, right? For single parent families, because for single mothers or single fathers, it is like one new trend, right? Yes, like for many young people, they want to have an independent life, do not want to listen or other people, right? What they have to do, but like they just follows the new trends of this life. But in the future, when they consider, right, all the couples who are divorced, right, and they have to raise their children by themselves, right, without the support from their wife or their husband, and they see how the life is tough, right? So perhaps they are afraid of that. For the young couples in the future, they will try to live with their partners, try to understand their partner emotion, right? To have a happy life. Yeah. Okay, and for the next question, do you think it will be a good thing or a bad thing that there will be more single parent families? Yeah, of course, I think it will be a good thing, right? It cannot be it will be a bad thing, cannot be a good thing, right? Surely about this, because anyways, I think for the children, they should live with their parents, right? And they can get enough attention from their parents, right? So to help them have a good childhood, yeah. So it will be very good for the children when they are grown up. Okay, and for the final prediction number 7, because houses are now so expensive, Different generations may decide to live together. So parents, grandparents, and adult children may co-own their houses, and many couples will have to live with their in-laws. For this, perhaps this is happening in Vietnam countries. I'm not sure about this, but as my neighborhoods, right? As I know that I do not see this so much, yeah. And usually I see that for the couple after getting married, right? They will live with their children, with their grandparents, yeah. And of course, they do not want to live with their relatives, right? Such as us or uncles, yeah. So for the question number 2, do you think it will happen in the future? Yeah, probably. I think it is not happen. Yeah, probably it is not happen. So I'm not sure about this, but I think it will be not happen in the futures. I mean, if a comparison with the current, it cannot be more popular because as you know, that's for us, for the human, right? For the nature of the humans, that we want to have our private life. Like if you live under one house, right, with your children, right, and with your wife, with your husband, yeah, I think you will have an independent life, and your life will be better if you are living with your relatives, right? Because you know, in this life there are many things happens, yeah, many things happens. So just on opinion about this matter, right? We have different opinions, and that can cause arguments, and we hate each other, right? But let's imagine for the situation you are living under one house with your relatives, right? And so many things will happen. So as you know, that's and many people do not want to experience that feeling. It is crazy. Yes, like when you see your relative face, and you already had the feeling that it is so, you feel so angry, right? Yeah, it is so terrible. So, and that's why I do not think this will happen more popular in the future. And do you think it will be a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah, for this question, I think it is very difficult to answer. Yeah, the depends on experience of each person in this life, right? For the people say that if you are living with your relatives, it will be good because you can get the support, right, from your relatives, and you can share experience with each other, right? Yeah, so it will help us have a better life, especially, right? We can scale our finance, yeah. But in my opinion, I just care so much about the spirits. As I told you about emotion, I do not care so much about finance. So that's why I think this is not good for us if we live under one house with our relatives, right? It is okay if we live with our parents, right? With our grandparents, it is okay. But with relatives, with our uncle, our aunts, our cousin, yeah, I think it is not good. There are, I'm sure that you, yeah, will have many arguments, yet conflicts in your life if you live with your relatives. So that will make your life terrible. It is so awful. So that's why I think it is not good. Yeah. Okay, now let's come back, right? To see again for 3 questions, right? You need to answer for 7 prediction for the typical family in the future. So now I want you to take the picture for these 3 questions and these 4 languages, because for the homework you need to practice and complete answer 3 questions in partially, right? Okay, and when you speak fluently, please record the videos. Yeah, it is very useful for you to improve your English. If you practice, you talk as much as possible, right? Okay. and with you will be successful in using English. Yeah. Bye bye and see you in next video in learning English with me.